Welcome to the Begley Library tutorial on the common parts of a scholarly article. If at any point you need assistance or have a question, please do not hesitate to contact a librarian. The title of the article and the subtitle, if there is one, should give you a general idea of what the article is about. Next will be the author or authors. Note that these often are not in alphabetical order. This is done intentionally. The closer to the start of the list, the more the author generally has contributed. Their affiliations may be included here as footnotes or at the end of the article. This is important information for when you are evaluating the article. This article in the image includes a list of acknowledgments to persons and/or organizations that supported the creation of the article. This may be found at the beginning or end of the article if included. The abstract is a brief summary of the article containing the basic facts of the article. This may or may not be labeled. It generally includes the context and reasons for the work, how the work was accomplished, major results, and the conclusions drawn. There may or may not be headings for each of the sections. It may also state briefly why the article is important. Occasionally, the abstract may be continued on the next page. Keywords generally appear on the article's first page, but may also be at the end. Some articles do not have these. This list of words can help to identify the main concepts in the article. Keywords can also be useful in revising or enhancing your searches for additional sources. The introduction may or may not have a title. It always comes immediately after the abstract and/or keywords. The introduction explains why the authors have conducted the study or written the article and why the information presented is important. Most introductions end with a hypothesis, purpose statement, or thesis statement for the work, clearly stating the intent of the study or article. The introduction might also include the literature review section. The literature review provides a brief overview of the relevant studies, articles, and other resources that support or provide background information on the current study or article. The literature review is intended to provide a solid foundation for the topic using published information. This may be included as part of the introduction or as a separate section. The methods section explains in detail how the current study or research was conducted and includes any instruments that were used or directions to obtain a copy of the instruments used. This section might also be called methodology or method. This section can take several pages and may include subheadings such as participants, procedures, tools, plans for analysis, and other subheadings as needed to help guide the reader. The authors present the results of the study in an objective, logical manner. This section often includes visual representations of data, such as tables, charts, graphs, diagrams, or photographs to help and illustrate the information in an easy-to-follow manner. This section is also called findings. Authors often use subheadings to organize their findings. The authors explain the results, discuss any problems that arose during the study, present any unexpected findings or results, and relate the results back to the literature review. The conclusions might appear at the end of this section rather than in a separate section. The conclusions explain the main inferences that can be drawn logically from this study and outline why the findings are important to the industry, field, or general population. Authors often make recommendations for future or further research here or in a separate section. This may be included as part of the discussion or in a separate section. The conclusion section may or may not also include recommendations for future research. When not included in the conclusions section, authors may provide recommendations for future or further research studies in this section. Also called a works cited list, a bibliography, or endnotes, this is a list of sources used by the authors to obtain facts and information. This is another excellent place to look for additional resources for your own assignment. The article used in this presentation can be found using this citation. If at any point you need assistance or have a question, please do not hesitate to contact a librarian.